time to get massive, and by massive I mean huge, and by huge I mean swole, and that is exactly what I'm going to be doing in this video. Actually, technically I did it outside of the video throughout the week, and I just videoed it, and this is just evidence of what I did. But it's always good to have evidence of how I got to be so big, because I don't want people telling me or other people that James got that big through magic. So that's why I film it, to be honest, because just in case people come at me and say it was all magic, you didn't do anything, I can go, actually I did, I have these videos as proof. Because that's what a lot of people get accused of these days, is magic, and I just don't want to be in that hole with all the others, because it just pissed me off, to me. So I don't want to work this hard, be lifting this freaking hard, guys, and then other people say didn't actually do it, it was some sort of genie. No genie involved, and here I am curling, but not the sort of curls for the girls. These are more curls for the world, because these are leg curls, and my legs are the best in the world, so that's what that means. I do barbell curls, arm ones, later in the week, but that's not what this is. This is, how much did I do? 41.3 kilos. Not bad. I think I even lowered it later in the week, just because I wanted to work on form. Actually, this is something I did through the week. I actually ended up lowering quite a few things for the bodybuilding work, just so that I could properly rep them out. But on top of that, rep them out I was going to say properly again. I have a problem with repeating myself in general. But anyway, I just wanted to get the full range of motion on all of the movements, because as my coach was explaining to me, it's better to be getting, it doesn't matter what the range of motion you're getting is necessarily, to an extent, as long as you keep it consistent as you progress the weight. And to just go for full range of motion, it's a lot easier to make sure that you've kept it the same as you increase the weight. You can sort of trick yourself into believing that you're performing the same sort of motion with a heavier weight to a certain point, and it's just harder to trick yourself when you know you're not getting the full range, which is what you aim for. Did any of that make sense? Hopefully. Cable row. This is one of the examples of a thing that I lowered the weight on, just so that I could properly, get to my chest and back and stuff. It was an interesting one. I was meant to do face pull, and I didn't do face pull. And the reason I didn't do face pull is because somebody was on the cables. They were doing that cable fly that pretty much takes up the whole thing. And so whenever anyone ever does cable fly, I end up thinking, you know what, dude? You've sort of told yourself you're worth 2 different pieces of equipment at one time. And I just don't know if I could justify that to myself. I don't know if I'm that arrogant, to be honest, that I'm worth taking up two cables, just because I feel like my chest needs 2 cables worth of training. I'm not going to be doing that to other people, but this guy was, and he ruined my day. So feet up close grip bench is always absolutely lovely. I actually do enjoy this movement, because I find one of the most tiring parts of the bench press is trying to get tight and trying to get the leg drive and stuff. So when you literally aren't allowed and you have to put your feet up on the thing, and it's more about your triceps, so it just makes the whole thing, you don't have to think as much. You really don't. You just have to worry about the tricep movement. So I lowered the cable row again because I wasn't happy with ended dropping down to, I can't remember what I quite dropped down to, but I think by the end of the thing I was below 10 reps. So I wasn't really happy with that, so I dropped down to the next level, 29.6 kilos instead of the 32, and really did just try to activate everything, my biceps and my upper back. More seated leg curl, something else I dropped the weight on, and that's just because I was feeling it way too much in my calves, and I really don't want seated leg curl to be a calf movement. I want to actually feel it in my hamstrings, because I haven't exactly got the biggest hamstrings. I'm not far off from the very biggest hamstrings in the world, but I'm not there yet, and so I need to be there, and that's why I am paying more attention to the seated leg curl. Why are my calves so tiny? My calves do not look this tiny when I'm walking around, but from this angle, or just because of this machine, I look like a paralysed person, like somebody who's been in a wheelchair and his legs have atrophied. Really don't like it. I want massive calves. I should have massive calves. More ab crunch, and this is, so it sort of happened this way where Wednesdays drag way too long for me to justify doing abs after everything else, so I don't necessarily end up doing it ever. But Monday, Friday and Saturday I have time for it, and Monday, Friday I just sort of prefer the machine, because I feel as though it's something I don't know, abs is such a weird one to train. Core training is so hard because there's so many movements that are supposed to train your core that I just don't end up feeling anything. It just feels hard, and I know that's weird because something is obviously making it hard, and therefore there is a muscle involved, but it just ends up feeling hard, and it's just not activating my abs. Whereas machine ab crunch, I feel as though I can actually get something out of it. Leg press here, and after watching a Mark Lobliner leg press, 45-degree leg press video, this is when I couldn't hook it because it was too high up. I started caring about my form on leg press a bit more. And then barbell curl. So these are the curls for the girls. Leg curls are not for the girls. Barbell curls are for the girls. And that's why here we're repping a massive, wait for it, 20 kilos. What? Hey! Yep, 20 kilos. So got it for 15, then I got it for 15, and then I got it for 14, and then I got it for 15 again, and then I got it for 11. And after this, once I finally get those reps, boom, I move on to the only other ab thing I do, weighted knee raises. I put a weight in between my feet, so if you look at my feet, if these guys move, look at my feet, I've got a weight there, and I just raise it up and down. And that is my abs, and after this I did some cycling sprints. Boom, that was my bodybuilding week, and that is why I am massive. Video evidence, it's not magic.